Hi, have you ever wondered if there are some signals which the market sends out to the market participants, the traders, both swing traders and intraday traders, in terms of whether they should be buying or they should be selling? And are these signals, if they exist, simple enough for a rank and file day trader to understand and take advantage of? In this video, I'm going to address this very simple query and yet a very effective system, and one of the few systems based on very simple statistical data which is available free of cost in the public domain, which you can use to basically energize your trading profits. Friends, I'm Vijay Bhambwani, a trader with 35 years of trading experience, 28 of which have been spent as a founder, promoter, and CEO of an incorporated limited company which only trades for a living. I'm going to help you in this video to decipher very simple signals of the market which tell you that the present upside or the downside has a probability. Remember, we are dealing in probabilities and not certainties here because the markets are subject to pull and push forces of various pressures. So, on my social media accounts, at the end of the day, every evening on working days, I put out a couple of posts based on our statistical in-house trading model, which we call the Barracuda. Please feel free to follow me on any of my social media accounts. My contact coordinates will come at the end of this video, wherein I put out a particular metric called the MWPL, or Market Wide Position Limits. In this video, I will try and attempt to explain to you what the MWPL means, how you can make sense and sensibility of this number, and whether it is an effective tool to trade properly. Now you see, Market Wide Position Limit is basically the limit that SEBI has allowed in the F&O space for all the traders to collectively take positions in. And the MWPL is nothing but a benchmark or a measure of how much of that permitted exposure has been utilized by all the traders put together. I don't really need to tell you that if SEBI has allowed 1 million contracts and the traders are only using up 50,000 contracts of those, which means that the traders are not particularly interested in that particular counter or tradable security. On the other hand, if 1 million contracts are allowed in a particular contract or a particular stock future and the traders have used up 900,000 contracts, which means that the MWPL has hit 90%, which means traders are actually expecting this counter to move fast in both directions, which is why they are concentrating their exposure onto these particular counters. Now, apart from telling you which counters are going to witness all the action, the market-wide position limit, or the sum total of all the MWPL of 140 scripts available in the F&O divided by the number 140 gives you the market-wide average MWPL. Friends, if at all the market has risen but the MWPL has fallen, it tells you that people are skeptical about the rally. And if the market has fallen but the MWPL has risen, which means short sales are getting built up into the system. Now these are effectively very simple numbers. It doesn't require rocket science. Any 6th standard high school child can basically see the MWPL numbers that I put up on my screen. A couple of screenshots of my social media pages are following on your screen. You can check out how every evening I put out this data free of cost for anyone to see. As a matter of fact, even on YouTube, as you can see on your screen, at the end of the day, I put out a graphic file with a brief narration, and in the graphic itself projected next day's support and resistances with a short commentary based on MWPL, the basis, etc., as to what I think the market might just be trading like tomorrow. Now, MWPL, the market-wide MWPL, is something you could treat as a sentiment indicator. If people are using more and more of the limits allowed by SEBI, they are gung-ho, they are enthusiastic, they can't get enough of the market action and they want more and more. On the other hand, if the MWPL is not really rising much, people are skeptical, they are waiting and watching, they are sitting on the fence, they are indecisive. Now, what you would have seen if you are following me on social media is after SEBI's new margin system came in after November 2020, the average MWPL has come down by a few percentage points. It's become a little more expensive to trade in terms of margin, which is why the trader participation has come down. What does it tell you? That lesser exposure is basically moving prices. So a little bit of a reversal from this lesser exposure will reverse prices with a higher degree of impact and high volatility. So low MWPL automatically implies a high probability of higher beta or higher volatility, which means you have to be extra careful. The market is lacking depth. Fewer people are buying and selling into the market. Sentiments are extremely cautious. So let it not be taken lightly that this MWPL figure is a very, very critical benchmark of what the public is doing. I get a lot of Gyani Baba messages on WhatsApp every morning, and one of them is, don't tell me how you feel about me. I'll gauge from your actions as to whether you're my friend or my enemy. Now, these are Suprabhatam or good morning messages. Nothing can be further away from absolute pearls of wisdom. I think that your actions vis-a-vis humans might be misleading, but in the market, the numbers never lie. Never. Now, if MWPL is rising, it's taking a hell of a lot of money, it's taking a hell of a lot of buying and selling to budge those numbers. So I would rather follow the actions of the traders rather than what is being said both on mainstream and social media, and believe even misleading posts of people. So the figures, the data, the statistical numbers that are coming out are basically a lot more honest to you. And besides, the MWPL might also determine how much money you will have to pay per contract. Now take for example the margin system. There are two types of margins which will basically determine how much money you will have to put up before you can start trading. One is the span margin, which is the initial margin. This is the absolute minimum deposit that you have to pay before you can trade. And the second is exposure margin. Now, if MWPL rises above 60, your exposure margin starts to go up. And if MWPL crosses 90, the security is banned for trade and no further contracts are allowed. Now, if the MWPL is 59 and you enter into a trade and you're holding on to a trade, and next day if the MWPL crosses 60, you'll be surprised why your broker is asking you for additional margin. Because trader interest has risen on that counter, more exposure has been created into the market, and therefore tomorrow you might suddenly wind up having to pay more just to keep your trade going. So it has financial implications on your existing positions. It has psychological implications of telling you whether the traders are biting into the market or raising exposure or reducing exposure in the market, whether they are convinced about the current market move or they are extremely skeptical about the market moves. Now, a word of caution here. MWPL naturally tends to fall ahead of expiry, or at least slow down its rise ahead of expiry. Naturally, traders are focused on rolling over or squaring up their positions ahead of expiry, which is why there is a temporary decline on expiry day but MWPL starts to run up again from the Friday following the expiry day. So this is a very simple hack that you should be using, and please connect with me on social media. My contact coordinates are on your screen right now. Let's have conversations going. I would love to be connected to thoughtful and knowledge-based investors and traders who can exchange ideas with me. We have extremely fruitful conversations going, help each other become better traders and basically grow together. Friends, this is Vijay Bhambwani signing off from this video. I hope you liked what you saw. In the comment section, do let me know what you think about this video and what you would want me to record next. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon so that you can receive alerts about my future videos. I wish you a very, very profitable day ahead. Vijay Bhambwani signing off for now. Thank you for watching me. I'll see you again in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.